I was giving it some thought.
Yeah, I think there's reasons to be optimistic about America. I mean, I love America.
Oh, heck yeah. Oh, yes.
No.
Yes, I feel that there are plenty of reasons to be optimistic.
I would say yes and no.
I don't really like the track that America's going on right now. I mean, honestly.
I think in some ways, yes.
Yes, I absolutely believe there is a reason to be optimistic about America right now.
I think that in any country that you're in, you should be optimistic about just life in general.
So on behalf of being optimistic about America,
I mean, I think so. What's the other choice? Pessimistic about it?
Sometimes.
Yeah, it kind of depends.
For 90% of people, probably no.
And, at the current rate of things right now, I mean, it's just rather difficult to say as to whether or not there is really any real reason to feel optimistic about America right now. I mean,
And then for 10% of people, yes.
yeah, I say it has its perks. I don't know. There's a lot of
Optimism about America right now is a little bit hard because we've got the Ukraine going on with Russia.
human rights right now are constant struggles.
a lot of differences, a lot of cultural differences.
I think actually, I got to study. I found a Time magazine cover article. It's called "The Jesus Revolution" back in 1971, and I feel like at a very similar time in American history, there was like a spiritual awakening. So I'm optimistic about the country for sure. I think
There's lots of issues in the world, and in America, but I think people are trying to make changes.
And I know I live here, so I like to keep hope that, it's going to get better for the most part.
Yeah, and it seems like the COVID-19 crisis has averted,
We've got China that's about to just implode on itself.
and now they have the monkeypox crisis coming up, so
A lot of things that divide people, separate people.
They all have nuclear threats that go with them, which is kind of scary for us.
To have everybody on equal ground.
that might be something to think about.
And there's so many people that are, just doing poorly in their lives because their jobs don't want to pay them well.
But other than that, without that going on, it seems inflation's high.
The abortion rights are something to think about.
They don't want to give them health care.
Price of gas is up and food's up.
The Roe versus Wade, that stood up in Kansas, and it's illegal in Indiana and Ohio.
But other than that, life's pretty good.
spiritually, I'm optimistic, and I just still believe it's a great country. Even if we have a particular set of problems these days.
On behalf of being optimistic, I say yeah.
I think in America that you have to be optimistic too.
I can't necessarily give any good
But all the other states are able to keep the women's rights intact. So I think that is a reason to be optimistic about being a woman here in America today.
I'd say yes because of how Gen Z is acting right now, just with everything in general.
Because people are fighting for what they believe in.
I'd say having our rights in America is definitely a pro.
How they're putting down some of the millennials and the boomers and stuff like that.
And with a lot of the upheaval right now, that there's going to be some good come out of that.
They're putting down all of those old traditional things and opening up new things.
Just depends on what's going on during the day.
With trans rights, gay rights.
So I think optimism is a good thing to have, and I think we should have it because we're very privileged here.
All of that kind of stuff.
I would agree with that answer, especially because we're seeing a bunch of different people and minorities finally taking a stance to feel equal in this country.
Everybody's really open about everything now. Nobody's ashamed to go anywhere.
I would say there are certain reasons, but overall, No.
So, I mean, it's just really difficult to feel optimistic in the current state of affairs.
There's a lot of drama and like government issues that are going on right now that are not very helpful to any of us citizens at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I just want to elaborate on it a little bit more because, like, what I feel like, if you talk about like just America the whole, there's a lot more than just what's going on with like the justice system or with women's rights and things like that. It's just
Like, look at all these people here. Nobody's ashamed anymore.
at the time right now, a lot of people are being united amongst like a single issue that this necessarily we didn't have that type of unity before. Whether it's like women rights, the pandemics that's happening, police brutality, whatever the case may be, you see a lot more people coming together to try to get through certain social issues.
We've got people helping everywhere. I think everybody's more kind nowadays.
And if you're not, then there's not really any way, if you feel like it's going negatively or going good.
Overall, no. Like, we're trending in the wrong direction. But there are certain reasons here and there where I feel like we should be optimistic.
So, yeah, I think I'm very optimistic about it.
Yeah, as families and as groups, right? And as communities. Black Lives Matter. That's a big movement. So, yeah. So, the COVID crisis caused us to spend more time with our loved ones and significant others at home instead of being at work all the time. So, yeah, it's made families closer.
And I think it's just going to get better from there on.
If you're not optimistic, then there's no way to like help the future. If you're not optimistic about making change.
I would preface it with the fact that we have to make our own optimism sometimes.
So kind of a mixture is how I see it.
You know,
Yeah.
I think that's
I'll go with that.
that'll sum it up, yeah.
Okay. You agree? Well, I agree. Next question, Bob. I mean,
So,
I
think that
does God believe in democracy?
well,
That's a tough question because I don't know what God really does believe.
No.
I mean, sure.
I believe that he believes in some type of structure.
No.
No, I don't believe so.
No.
I don't know. Does God believe in democracy? I mean,
I am unsure about that because I've never spoke with him.
You know what I'm saying? Because without structure, people just be running wild like grass. You know what I'm saying? When you know what I mean? So, but
I think yes.
No, I think when it comes down to something on a spiritual behalf, you can't put religion and government together. That's completely separate.
So I think that the two shouldn't be mushed together.
democracy is something that, like, if you're talking about like what God believes in,
I mean, he makes the decisions himself, theoretically, right?
I don't really think so. Not in my opinion. I don't think he believes in democracy. I'm trying to find a way to explain this the best way I can.
I don't believe in God, but
I believe in democracy. I think God believes in
you can't put energy into a government. That's just not how it works. You know, that's the whole.
I mean, who knows what God believes in, but I know that he has his, God has his holy order that we're supposed to follow, and anything under that would be, I guess that would be up to man.
I do believe in the separation of church and state, and I think that there isn't really a way that we should lump the two together.
I'd say he doesn't because he kind of.
What I do remember from reading the Old Testament doesn't seem very democratic to me. It seems more of a tyrant, you know?
And no one else really has a say, so no.
But the God I believe in does overall believe in democracy and equality and fairness for everyone, but it doesn't always happen at the same time.
Like, I understand everybody has their own morals, and that is going to drive how they view certain things.
You know, Christians loving each other, and I think democracy in its best form is people loving each other.
Would it be per se their specific structure? It could be, but it's about the input. You know what I'm saying?
I think he believes in democracy more than he believes in like communism.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see him as like kind of like communist.
I don't really know what that means. I'm saying.
It's like Anne Frank them. The communists, we don't like
He
Anne
doesn't
Frank.
like Nazi stuff or
Nah,
anything
we
like
ain't
that.
trying to get them
But-
Anne Frank.
Yeah, I don't really believe in God. So I'm just gonna state that up front.
That's a whole different thing.
Also, I know like certain laws and things that we hold true, he'll hold true and value as well. So I could say that yes, if we believe in it, then he would as well.
Okay, outside of the God thing, regardless,
I think he believe in people joining together to decide what is best for people as a whole.
Kind of rose to power with his glorious feats and.
well, like, okay, so assuming that God's there, absolutely not.
He thinks that he's the one and true king and that he's the only one that should be
in
truly
power,
believing in power, and I don't think that represents democracy at all. It's all for the people, but.
So yeah, I mean,
There's no judgment within religion as there is within government. It's a lot
within God being spoken of like that, I mean, he's an energy.
Kind of like it takes a village to raise a child or to raise children.
Yeah, I would think whatever your moral values are would align with who your God is. There's more than one God.
Like, anything great has not come from democracy at all.
Yeah, but I think he would support democracy over communist parties.
Amen, Jesus.
Yeah.
All right.
And putting the needs of each other equal to or above the needs of our own. So
If he's an Holy Spirit, then he's an energy, and there's all energy is all one. So a democracy is not. You know, it has its own traits.
For instance, Buddha is a God.
Like, I don't think, like Steve Jobs, when he was building Macintosh and building iPhones, he wasn't out there asking everyone's opinions on everything.
So no, there's. What was the question again? I gotta reread it. Let me see it.
I think putting the two together and does God believe in democracy shouldn't really happen here, especially if we do have freedom of religion and the separation of church and state. That's my opinion.
He just makes everybody believe in him and think that if you don't, then, you know,
Then you're gonna get punished
you're
or
gonna
like
get punished.
killed or something like that.
Like, I don't think that democracy is essentially, I don't think that democracy is necessarily the most optimal route. It's just the fairest route.
Different, not just God, not just Jesus, but other religions.
Or just to be there for each other.
So I also can't really, say for sure what he does or does not believe because I'm not him, or I'm not him.
Or her.
I think maybe more in the political sense, I feel like there should be more of a separation between that, and it depends on what God people believe in.
Yeah, whatever your moral compass is and what you believe in and your truths.
So, yeah, I mean, God's out there. He's in charge. He makes the decisions.
I don't see him being a supporter of democracy, not in the manner that he's been painted.
I also firmly believe in the separation of church and state because since I don't believe in God, I don't want people forcing their belief in God on me.
I would say God believes in the principles of democracy. I don't know in terms of form of government, but the principles of loving your neighbor for sure.
Does God believe in
No,
democracy?
God does not believe in democracy.
It's if you believe in God. I don't believe people who do believe he's democratic. No.
I believe that leads to democracy and a way to exercise your human rights as an individual and as a collective group.
It's not a democracy, and it shouldn't be. Some people are superior to others in knowledge, and so therefore they should make decisions. Kind of like a family and parents with children.
You're never gonna be like a good person or something like that. Yeah.
Next, God, we represent you, baby. Come on. The next question.
You don't preach too much.
What happened the first time?
We'll
have to happen again.
Actually, I am a Christian, and so I think, to me, I think it's in Matthew 24 or something like that.
So
I have no idea. I'm sorry.
For Jesus to come back.
The worst?
Yeah.
I honestly don't really know. For people to act right?
Is the question relying on biblical scripture, or what do you think has to happen right now for him to come back?
I think that's a question that no one can answer.
I think, you know,
Revelation.
So, by way of scripture, the Antichrist has to be revealed.
The worst has to happen for him to come back.
They asked Jesus that very question, like, what's the sign of your coming and of the end of the age? And he said that the gospel going to the whole world.
Well, since I don't believe in the Christian God and Jesus and all that,
Yo, we're getting deep out here.
well, I think everything that played out in Revelation, yeah.
In the Bible, a lot of terrible things happen for Jesus to come in the first place, because I am Christian.
Before things get better, they always get worse. That's what I say.
I believe so.
And then let it bring on a rapture and just whatever the book of Revelation speaks about, in my opinion.
I honestly don't think that we can do anything for him to come back.
But I just think it's just time. It's due process.
There has to
It's
be-
gotten to a certain degree of no one being in a rightful mind, a good heart.
It depends on which religion.
No,
you're in,
it don't
actually.
matter. It
Because
don't
if you're
matter.
Jehovah's Witnesses, you believe one thing. If you're,
But
Pentecostal.
but
or-
really, we are judged by our intentions of our hearts. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. Because he knows that life happens and life is gonna come at us.
I didn't know that it was this deep.
So
What has to happen for Jesus to come back? I think according to the scripture, to the good book, as they call it,
The miracle of all miracles.
Well, I mean, I believe Jesus never left us. Jesus is a part of all of us, in my opinion.
it just seems really silly to think that, from the stories that I do know,
I'm not sure if this is 100% accurate, but I think they say that everyone has to be a Christian.
So I think a big part of it is just the gospel going to the globe, and the good news of the gospel going to the whole world. So that's I think a part of it.
Spirituality that encompasses each of us.
I'm kind of 50-50 on the Christianity thing, because I grew up in that kind of household, and I was baptized, I was all that kind of stuff.
We already have a lot of terrible things happening now. I'm not sure what else has to happen.
I mean, I don't think we've really reached the worst just yet.
He already, everything he's
But
done.
when's the world so bad that he's going to come back and save us?
Oh,
Take
baby,
us Christians
baby,
back?
let me tell you something. When China owned probably 80% of America, that's
When the
they at 75% now. So,
Or like everyone has to accept Jesus as their savior for him to come back, is from what I've heard.
And I mean, I talk to Jesus every day and I pray every day, and I know a lot of my friends do the same thing.
And I believe that Jesus won't come back, personally.
but I just feel like this. For real, I feel like, you know, it's a timing thing, but everything has developed to this point because everything's at an adverse changeover. A lot of things it's time to switch the 99 to the 1%ers. You know what I'm saying? It's time to switch that over back to the people.
Or I guess if you want to look at it from the opposite perspective, like he came back because shit was so bad.
I mean, as the future is coming along, though, there's so many more advantages
I mean,
of
yeah,
ways that it could become worse.
We got all new strains of COVID.
But to think that, you know, they're waiting for him to come back in order to be rescued, you know.
I think that he has died once already, and yeah, he kind of like rose up from the grave and everything.
Through prayer, Jesus is around us all the time, so he's already come back and he never left. So that's what I think.
And then they flooded the world. I don't know.
I don't think that was Jesus. I thought that was God in Exodus.
Are they the same?
But they're supposedly the same but different.
It's just a lot of evidence of things switching over. So, I mean, the things that played out in Revelation, the moon.
We got now monkeypox.
All
the new age,
yeah.
everybody with their new information, their new
so
God and spirituality.
Yep, the last word of Revelations.
Because we already seem to be having the apocalypse, and we've got wars, death and famine, so I don't know.
But I guess if you're looking at it from the inverse, I guess shit would have to get so bad. So I don't think things are so bad. Like, we still have a civilized society. It may not be like the most ideal, but we still have a civilized society.
I just seen some type of TikTok today saying that there was Organ X or something like that, where they were testing on pigs to bring them back. They're calling them zombie pigs. Crazy.
And then the world, everything's going to be destroyed afterwards. You know, it's just really seems odd.
I think God is just going to pick the time, and he will choose when Jesus comes back in whatever way, just as he chose when he placed Jesus on this world.
When y'all get to the last verse, there you go, he coming.
But he came back as a spirit and as like the Holy Ghost or whatever.
I think shit would have to get barbaric for him to come back.
Very odd belief to me.
Just call me and I'll tell you when he come. I'll call him, I email him. Let him know. That's my daddy.
He represents.
He didn't come back as a human, and yeah, he'll come back as like a spirit again, I guess. But I
just think something a lot worse would have to come, a lot more negative power than there is right now.
Yeah.
I was raised Jewish. We don't believe in Jesus. So I don't think he is coming back.
But what about like in the sense of him coming back, like how you spoke of, like a thief in the night?
Yeah, I think that's possible. Maybe at the end of time, or if there's an apocalypse or something like that, like a divine reckoning, that kind of thing.
So you think that has to happen first before he
would
comes
come
back?
It would have to be a special occasion.
T.O.D., baby. I'm a representation, God, Jesus.
Okay, let's go ahead and hang with her.
Ray.
Yeah, so has to get
That's
worse.
about it for
has
that
to get worse
question.
before it's gonna get better.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with.
I mean, maybe if everybody in the whole world just repents all sin or does like a mass genocide, probably. Something crazy like that, I feel like, is what it would have to take for him to genuinely come back from everything.
Other than that, I'm not a theologian. I don't know.
And I think if we could, then that kind of takes away your faith. I feel like that is something that we will never know and we're not supposed to know.
Based on the amount of people that ask me if I found him, I'm going to say he's going to need a good GPS system.
If that's going to happen.
I mean, I'm just saying, it just sounds very strange.
I just met you, girl. Okay.
Sorry, I'm like, I don't know.
No.
So I don't know what divine right is.
Well, kind of explain the divine right.
I don't really know what that is. I maybe should ask before we started.
No.
Could you explain what divine right is to me? I don't know.
By divine right, you mean like people are like chosen?
I have no clue what that means.
Divine right, as in what we get from Christianity or from being children of Christ?
That I do not absolutely believe in divine rights.
So, can you give me a little bit of an explanation on divine right?
I can't say whether or not I believe in it because I'm not an educated man.
I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that one, I'm gonna be honest.
Divine right. Would you be able to explain that a little
Yeah.
bit?
Like, what?
Chosen to what?
Like people are chosen outside of human choice.
Oh, okay. So, no, I don't believe in that.
No. Just because you were born a certain Jerusalem or
Oh,
an
that divine
Israeli
right. Like you born into some. Okay.
Okay.
Like a superiority?
I don't really
No,
believe
I-
in that
I
too
don't
much.
believe
I
in
think
that.
we're all equal.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, then no.
I don't know what it is.
Like, there are just some people who God has appointed them as superior to others.
Oh. No.
Yeah, sure. Because, you know, God's professed to be the King of Kings.
No.
I'm indifferent on this one. I don't really know.
Well, I was born in the 40 acres and a mule. Since we on this subject, since y'all ain't pay off my ancestors, dog, it's cool because I show my people show was poor. You know what I'm saying?
were too,
They
though,
live in the
so
inner
they
city,
were paying
boy.
me
They
too,
still
so.
get food stamps. Let me tell you something.
No, I do not believe in that.
We're all equal people. I mean, everyone. I mean,
I believe that everyone brings their own power to the table.
I don't know. That kind of looks like divine right to me. I couldn't do a wheelie.
So, you know, that's out of his mouth. So,
Ain't nothing wrong with food stamp, dog, but we should have came up with them 40 acres and a mule. We could have did it.
I think that God gave man independence and the ability to make decisions.
I believe that power to the people.
I couldn't do a wheelie on a motorcycle.
I know in biblical times, he appointed kings.
I don't think that, a government or a single person is given authority to rule the people like that.
Okay, here's the thing.
No.
And anointed kings, you know, kings are anointed in his name.
Everyone's gonna eat. Everyone's gonna bring their own food to the table, but
Victoria says no. I feel like it's dependent on if God's out there. If God's out there, I do, because I do feel like there are people who are more exceptional than others.
But not enough to where people would where everybody wants to be like a very powerful king.
This leads to some very terrible things, in fact.
No,
divine right. No, it's.
I think you gotta earn
that's
it.
an old ideal.
Yeah.
I believe that everybody should be their own boss.
But however, that's something that I am not completely clear on in terms of my beliefs. So
I definitely believe in divine right.
And own kind of king in a certain way.
And that people make bad decisions.
Served well back in the day that it was used.
Way back in the
utilized,
day.
But I don't believe that it's something
Way
that
back
should be
in the day.
applicable now, or should be something that is
Like
is
Aztec
taken
back in
so
the
extra
day.
seriously, because it just kind of segregates and it just shows a lot of prejudice and it
Yeah.
excludes a lot of people.
everyone has a card to play. You can't step on someone else's shoes and expect everyone to be able to play the same or be able to play their own role.
God did not put people in power
Like, I think if God's out there, then yes.
I think it like this. They may be
Unless I
born
don't know
into
what
it.
divine right is.
So where you go? I'm gonna get you the definition, baby. Urban Dictionary. Okay, let me say it.
If he's not, then it's impossible because it would be impossible for divine right to exist if there was no God. Because divine right is God has made you kind of superior to others.
As a king or as a president or anything like that.
I think there's some people who do rule who believe that they, are given authority under their God, and they get abusive with it.
You know, that's just
Everyone's their own person.
Yeah.
We all have pros, we all have cons.
Now, how it relates to nowadays with like what you were speaking about earlier, like democracy or what we hold as government, I don't think it aligns with what was necessarily, originally started out as.
So if there is no God, then it's impossible. But if there is, then yeah, I would say that he would definitely appoint others to be, or some specific people to be superior to others.
But unless I feel like this, even though they're born into it, are they mentally ready for it? Because to be born into some high power position, privilege, dealing with a lot of people's lives, and y'all really mature or evil entity on it, or you know what I'm saying, a selfish person, then you don't need. So no, I don't.
So no, I don't believe in that.
It just is very alarming.
Because you see it in everyday life, that people are superior to others.
I think those people just decide to be better than other people.
Oh, and that's a good take too.
Just that you were born.
Yeah, just
divine
because you're
doesn't mean
born,
you're
don't.
divine.
Hey, just because your daddy's Donald Trump, don't mean you ain't gonna get that comb over. You know what I'm saying? That little comb over. I had one last week. I got me some. Little,
You got it fixed. It's
I got
good.
I got that little spray in. Don't be bald. You know? don't be like Trump. Comb over. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Trump's come over.
But then that's not even just a good or bad thing because, when it was back in the biblical days, we didn't have as many rights and things like that to do as people who weren't just a king or nobles or born in some type of high family or whatever, regular old citizens and ordinary paupers, they got it bad,
Like they took the action necessary to be better than everyone, like in terms of what they're doing.
I mean, there's some countries that have that happen in it, and it's scary to me.
Trump's better than Biden though, so.
I don't know, but that Biden is a robot. That man ain't real. He looks. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say the N word. My bad, y'all.
So nowadays, like you can actually amass to something and your family can have some type of legacy built about themselves without you having any kind of like royal blood or, you know what I mean?
That's a good take as well. And I don't know that there's a real way to even really know.
Jesus, he know I cuss. He all right. He working on me. But let me tell you, y'all don't think that God cuss. Can I ask one question with your question? Y'all don't think God and Jesus them cuss?
That has to do with us.
Look what they gotta do with.
Like, I feel like if there's too much power in one person, then people become more fearful of you and all that kind of stuff. And then, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Wholeheartedly. There's people that are blue bloods. There's new money, old money, that kind of thing. There's royalty, not really in our country, but in other countries like Great Britain. I don't know. I agree with what Tyrone said.
No, because I think that anyone could just say that they're a god of something or that they are the most powerful of anything. So
no.
Man, I wish I had to live with Tom. You think so?
Yeah.
It's all good off the dribble though, yeah.
But so yeah, I don't know.
Honestly,
Who knows?
like, yeah, I think it's just one of those questions that you ponder, but you don't really come with a definite answer on.
Like, Jesus, don't say that fool again. Goddamn. That motherfucker.
I agree with
Sorry.
that. I agree.
Amen, Jesus. Sorry.
I hope that makes sense. That's the best way I could describe it. Does that make sense? Okay.
don't drink the Kool-Aid.
I think that this is a very loaded question because of the use of the word better.
So are Hollywood celebrities other celebrities that are of other religion, like Muslims and Buddhists and
Or none, I
Scientology,
guess.
or none?
Or none, yeah.
I don't think one's religious preferences determines their talent.
I think like, all right, so
I remember
I think a lot of Hollywood celebrities are put on as a.
I believe probably around 80 to 90% of Hollywood celebrities are pedophiles.
I don't think Christian celebrities are better than Hollywood celebrities.
No, they all can be sucked up in the same realm.
Again, I think it should be kind of like a separation of celebrities in general. I think you could enjoy them without being Christian of any religion that anyone is.
No, it's a bit of a strange question for me, I think.
Sometimes. Depends who it is.
So do you mean like say a Joel Osteen being?
Everybody, celebrity to me, they still human. It's just their job, their occupation that puts them on a different pedestal than everybody else.
I think they're puppets.
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
puppets. They're just having
honestly, I think
strings pulled, and people, like, I don't know, just
there's so much more of a front within people, like on television and the media and stuff like that.
The word better is hard to, like are they better people? Like in all, like nicer?
Because it's like saying, am I better than my friend over here because I'm a Christian and she's not?
But
as far as that question, that goes in a lot because it's always some type of stigmata where people like to say Christians think they're better than anybody, first of all. Now, also, celebrities like to think that as well, or people like to think that they're other than just human, or they just ain't got problems like everybody else. So
I think, I don't know, I feel like that one's kind of like not applicable for celebrities.
I think, they're just people like anyone else, and
But they ain't no different from us. They can get bankrupt. Look at MC Hammer. Shit, can't touch this. They touched everything.
Then I would say no because I think personally he's creepy.
yeah, they're real ate up. I mean, Hollywood. Remember here in the 7th grade, my history teacher called it Hollywood, and it stuck with me ever since. That was just something where it was like,
They touched every goddamn thing. I'm sorry, baby.
It depends on how they act.
there's some great Christian celebrities in Hollywood.
do they think that they're better? I don't know. I mean, it depends on their actions. It depends on what it is that they get behind.
I mean, again, it would just seem crazy to think, it's crazy to think that one would think of themselves being more superior.
And I think that is just, again, a very loaded question, and we shouldn't be holding, I personally don't think we should be holding celebrities to any higher standard because they are also human.
But no, I do not believe that Christian celebrities are better than regular celebrities.
Well, given there's no way of knowing, just given that I've never met any of them before. So I don't know. Like, are they better actors?
I think a lot of Christian celebrities have the right attitude.
it's true, I mean, I believe that Christian celebrities as people, are better.
So to have that weight on them is really difficult. But people who are Christian run by different morals than people who aren't Christian.
I don't know if they're better than.
And then, of course, there are some that don't have the right attitude, but there are a lot that do have the right attitude that I think are in it for the right reasons, that are trying to spread a right message.
And a lot of Christian celebrities seem to be socking away a lot of money.
As far as if it's pushing the message of God forward in their work, because you could be a celebrity and make a whole bunch of horror slash movies and everything like that, but if you still feel as though you prominent in your community, you tithing, and you still praise the God that you call God, and
I don't know what religion they are, so I have no way of knowing.
I think that, mostly, like I believe that like most Hollywood celebrities are, yeah, they're pretty awful people. And so like if like the ones that are Christian,
And live in very fancy houses, and it just kind of, as long as they stay within their heart,
Grounded,
yeah,
yeah.
and what they're supposed to, what they
Stay
believe
with
in.
Jesus, baby.
Yeah,
Y'all gonna be
Then
all right.
I think that they're not better, but I think that they're doing the divine work.
Some really nice people, you know. But and I applaud anyone who puts their beliefs out there, you know, as a part of their life.
Now, if you put, you know, like, I don't know, I can't say Denzel Washington's a Christian or not. I don't know his religion beliefs, but you put him up against somebody who's a Christian celebrity, and I'm gonna pick him hands down. You know.
And they have other things that convict them. So I think when you try to compare the two using one standard of comparison,
Being Christians, let's keep it real. If you still, you know, worship and praise Jesus Christ and profess him as your savior, I think the whole celebrity thing don't even matter about it. Because you could have some people that's not a celebrity that do more than, you know,
They're doing.
Yeah, and regardless
they're
of
here
the,
for a reason.
and,
That's what they're doing.
and I feel like regardless of the reason why they're doing it, they're still doing it.
like if I were to compare my friend over here based on my Christian morals to me, then it's going to be completely different. Where if she was going to compare herself to me based on her morals, it's going to be completely different.
Because I feel like it should just be celebrities to me is like for entertainment.
I know a lot of times I done been down to like soup kitchens and did volunteer work and stuff like that just to help out people in need. And I think that it doesn't make me any kind of better Christian.
yeah, I mean, I think they probably are better people because they have something that they abide by that for the most part is good. I think for the most part, like Christianity, most people who follow it are usually better people than those who are completely outside of religion in general. I mean, like agnostic / atheist.
And have done nothing but I don't know, they do it for the money, and then they use their money as like a way to hide a lot of stuff.
For example, Dave Ramsey and Joel Osteen.
But I wouldn't say they're any better.
And it don't matter what their intents behind it. It's just the message still gonna get out. God will use your enemy as your footstool. And so, you know, hey.
I mean, there's just certain people who they don't put religion on the table that are good celebrities, but I don't agree with them as people, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't think that you can compare based on the convictions and the set of beliefs that somebody shares.
I think that a person's individual relationship with their God is what they have as far as, you know, their own level of they want to call themselves a good Christian or not.
Keep on singing. Around the country singer. I'm going to get Darius Rucker move over.
And drive expensive cars.
A Christian is usually a better person because they have something that they abide by strictly, in my experience. So I would assume
In
yes.
your experience, have you met Christian celebrities?
No, I haven't.
Like I don't remember her actor name, or no, her actual name, but the aunt from Full House, the one who was married to Jesse.
I have met celebrities, but I don't think any of them are Christian. I've met several.
I think that celebrity is just a title that puts something behind it, like, you know, money or status. But I don't think that they could think that they're better. But then I could be wrong. You know, people do got a lot of complexes with themselves, and you know, they like to think that, you know, they are, you know, above because of that.
So I don't think that they are at all better than a Hollywood celebrity.
I watch their movies, but I don't agree with their choices.
Also with like Hollywood and celebrities and stuff like that too, is that you see that actor or you see that front that they're putting up, you don't know the true person that they are.
Yeah, they just earn more money than we do. But I think that we as Christians are all equal. Nobody's better than the other.
And in fact, some Hollywood celebrities are way better because they actually seem to do more
I've met like 3 or 4.
Celebrities, there's a lot of celebrities that aren't even religious that help other people out, that have their own charities and fund different programs like for AIDS and COVID relief and that kind of thing. You don't have to be a Christian celebrity to contribute to the world.
Getting out and helping people, helping.
You don't have to be a celebrity to contribute to the world. So yeah.
I'll say this, right? Just one thing.
With Christian,
I don't really know any
think-
Christian celebrities. to be
I
honest.
just think it's more of like they're showing what their beliefs are, and I mean they're obviously going to follow those, and so it's just showing them as better as a person because those are their beliefs. That's what they are following. That is like that shows who they are as a person.
When you say Christian celebrities, opposed to just regular old Hollywood celebrities, what come to mind to me is people like, you might have, let's say, like some of the people that might be known as a Christian celebrity.
Do charities like, say, stuff Patrick Mahomes is doing.
Actually, I met Chance the Rapper, and he's technically a Christian celebrity. He was really nice.
And Christian celebrities, the only thing I can think of maybe is like a pope.
Joel Osteen, T.D. Jakes,
But in general, I think people who abide by strict moral guidelines that for the most part are generally good, which I think is the case for most Christians.
Those type of people with the mega churches that might have some type of, John Hagee or whatever the case may be.
But I feel like that shouldn't be like a celebrity. I think that should be religion,
There's some of the stuff that Angelina Jolie's done with helping people from other countries.
Like, I think most Christians are, for the most part, like really good people.
So, no, I definitely don't think Christian celebrities are better.
I think they're usually better people than the ones who don't abide by anything, any strict moral compass.
I wouldn't necessarily say if they're thinking that they're better than a regular old Hollywood celebrity, because I'm outside of a movie theater right now, so it just goes to show, like, it's just different platforms. I think the message that they preach or the message that they put is what determines, the level of good that they're at in their work.
Yeah, I would agree, but I would also say that like Christians and non-Christians can share a lot of similar morals.
Absolutely.
Because like we believe in a lot of the same stuff, but my things aren't backed. Like I'm not backing my stances with Christianity because that's not my belief system.
I think people can have a moral compass without being Christians.
I think they can. However, I don't think that it usually happens like that.
Oh.
Yeah, and the causes that they support and the charities that they fund and support and draw attention to.
She paid her kids through college, like paid off all the deans and everything so that they could get into college with the absolute worst grades. And they actually messed over or screwed over a whole bunch of students who had genuine scholarships for like good grades and like sports and stuff like that because these stupid prissy little rich kids want to go through all that or want to do college even though they didn't earn to go to college and all that kind of stuff.
So I would have to go with Christian celebrities.
Yeah.
Total 100%. So yeah.
I would disagree. Like just, I think that there are good people that are Christians and people that are not Christians. I think they have like black and white rules when they're Christians so that they like know what rules to follow, but other people don't necessarily have them and still are capable of being good people.
And I agree that we shouldn't be placing certain people above certain people because they are or aren't a certain religion.
Yeah, because Joel didn't let people in his church when it was flooding. He was like, I ain't messing up my building. I forget which pastor that was just using all the church money to buy jets. You know what I mean?
And I think Christian celebrities are a little bit better. They have better morals, I guess. And they're a lot more like...
So like they got their own stuff that hold them back as well, that they got to work out what they got, as well as just regular old celebrities or Hollywood celebrities that might do toy drives and give out turkeys and stuff on
Toys for
Thanksgiving.
Tots,
So I just think it's just what people put on what they expecting from that person to live up into.
Yeah,
If you
whatever
put all
they're-
that emphasis
yeah.
on, okay, well, Joel Osteen, I got to do everything he does to make me feel like, okay, I'm doing what is supposed to be done because of God, then that's how you going to gauge yourself.
No, I agree. I think they're still capable. I just from what I see of it, I think they usually, because it's kind of more fluid, they allow themselves more leeway to like act in a way that most people would deem as
I don't know. I think they're better people in general.
So if he falls and he mess up and you behind him, then that's what it is that gets you off your horse. Then, you know, as so as like if also on the other foot, you just have like a, let's just say like a celebrity who just adopted all these babies from Africa or something and helping out and feeding all the homeless and everything like that. You know, if they fall off of their horse because they might have some type of scandal, then you're liable to think that that's something that you're able to do or that you'll be held accountable for as well. So I just think it's just, you got to get in your own relationship with God before you can worry about if they a better Christian than I am.
Yeah, you have to have your own message and your own platform in order to be effective at helping others.
Or more proficient of a actor or whatever of a celebrity just because of their religious preference. That just
Oh yeah.
Okay, we got one more question. When are we gonna get our Jerry beads?
Because they weren't all like blinded by the greed and the wealth and the fame and the money and all that kind of stuff and the paparazzi and all that kind of stupid stuff.
Sinful or like not admirable. And I feel like Christians, for the most part, not always, obviously you get some bad eggs, but for the most part don't act in that way.
Let's say Jesus and not Jerry. Jerry Beats.
Jerry.
Jerry Beats, but I'm gonna keep my shirt on.
I don't know. That's how I see it.
What was the question?
It was our Christian celebrities better than Hollywood.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think everyone should be just viewed as equal.
Jesus beads.
Because I'm in old late, I don't want to go to jail, boy.
No.
To be determined.
I gotta pick up a new wig tomorrow. Okay.
We'll get this back now.
I don't understand that. You know?
Sounds good.
Cool.
That's it. Yeah.